Bon dia i benvinguts i benvingudes a aquesta sessió on presentem les missions de startup, en algun cas també amb inversors i corporacions, a Europa i Àsia. Aquesta tarda presentarem les missions a Estats Units, concretament al Disrupt San Francisco. Bé, des d'Acció donem suport a les startups a l'hora d'accedir als mercats, a l'hora d'accedir al finançament i a l'hora d'accedir al coneixement i l'experiència. Però sobretot també hi ha un element que és bàsic per les startups i també pels ecosistemes de startups, d'innovació, que és la connexió internacional. D'acord? Aleshores, aquests ecosistemes d'internacionalització, per créixer i per ser més forts, resilients o agafar la innovació, d'acord, doncs necessiten estar connectats internacionalment. I per això hem escollit el SWITCH Singapur, l'Slush Helsinki i el WebSummit de Lisboa, perquè considerem que actualment són els llocs per dur-la a terme. I parlant d'ecosistema, també ens fa molt contents des de 2 anys fer aquesta actuació, des de fa 2 anys, fer aquesta actuació amb l'Ajuntament de Barcelona, per tal de connectar i promocionar internacionalment aquest ecosistema que tenim aquí a Catalunya. I bé, per continuar amb la sessió d'avui, m'agradaria donar pas al Marc Sans, que és tècnic de promoció econòmica internacional de l'Ajuntament de Barcelona. Doncs Marc, endavant.
Moltes gràcies, Oriol. És un plaer donar-vos la benvinguda des de la Direcció de Promoció Econòmica Internacional de l'Ajuntament de Barcelona, en col·laboració amb Barcelona Activa, l'agència municipal que des de l'any 86 ha donat suport a milers de microempreses innovadores i startups barcelonines i també al lloc on han nascut 3 dels unicorns de la ciutat. El nostre objectiu és promocionar l'ecosistema de Barcelona a les 3 fires que us presentem avui. Podeu comptar amb nosaltres si en els contactes que feu amb inversors, startups o corporates en aquestes 3 fires us cal posar en valor la dimensió i l'empenta de l'ecosistema de startups de Barcelona i de Catalunya, que és el més gran del sud d'Europa i el 5è del continent, com potser sabeu, i també la potència de Barcelona com a hub tecnològic, científic i del coneixement. També m'agradaria posar en valor els serveis i programes per a startups de Barcelona Activa, com el Deep Tech Node, BeBlue per Economia Blava, BizTech per Tecnologies Esportives, CreaMèdia i els espais d'incubació i l'oficina d'atenció a les empreses de Barcelona Activa. A l'Ajuntament i a Barcelona Activa sempre estem a la vostra disposició per acompanyar-vos en el vostre enfortiment i internacionalització. Per tant, compteu amb nosaltres i animeu-vos a acompanyar-nos a SWITCH Singapur, WebSummit Lisboa i Slush Helsinki. Moltes gràcies.
Molt bé, Marc. Doncs escolta, moltes gràcies i comencem amb els esdeveniments, d'acord? Començaríem amb el SWITCH de Singapur i tenim amb nosaltres el Jordi Maluquer de Motes, que és director d'Acció a Singapur. Doncs Jordi, endavant, tens la paraula.
Hola, bon dia a tots els presents. Tal com han esmentat els meus col·legues, per tal de donar una mica de context al Switch, la presentació a continuació pretén en 5 minuts donar una pinzellada de l'ecosistema de Singapur, en particular, evidentment, de l'ecosistema d'emprenedoria. Atès que tenim poc temps, passaré ràpidament ja a compartir. Entenc que ja esteu veient la presentació, si no fos així m'aviseu, sisplau. Bé, el resum ràpid... El resum ràpid de la presentació seria aquest. Segons Startup Genome, en la seva classificació d'ecosistemes de startups, Singapur estaria a la 7a posició mundial. Un any abans, el 2023, hauria entrat per primer cop al top 10 d'ecosistemes i el 2024, l'any passat, hauria escalat una posició més, superant a Beijing i, per tant, passant a tenir la primera posició al continent asiàtic. A notar també que, a excepció de Londres, cap altre ecosistema a Europa estaria tan valorat com el de Singapur. Què entenem, però, per ecosistemes de startups? Els elements imprescindibles són les fonts de finançament, en particular el venture capital, la infraestructura digital, les polítiques i programes públics, el talent empresarial, en particular tecnològic, i les incubadores i acceleradores. L'existència de mercat i de demanda és també part important del sistema, així com elements de tipus soft, com són la cultura empresarial i de presa de risc. Per limitació de temps veurem major informació sobre els punts marcats aquí en negre. Sobre els altres, mencionar, si més no, que Singapur és segons el centre IMD, el primer país del món en competitivitat digital i el segon en disposició de talent. Per altra banda, tot i que no parlaré expressament de les polítiques de recolzament públiques, en diverses de les slides a continuació es podrà veure també com aquest és un element d'importància a l'ecosistema local. Començant, doncs, per les fonts de finançament, la gràfica de l'esquerra mostra les operacions als primers 9 mesos del 2024 en termes del seu valor. Silicon Valley ocupa amb molta diferència la primera posició, però Singapur és ja el 5è a nivell mundial. Per posar en relleu aquesta dada ens serveix la gràfica de la dreta. En aquest cas trobem les mateixes dades, és a dir, el finançament aixecat durant els primers 9 mesos de l'any 2024, però a nivell regional del sud-est asiàtic. Com és ben evident, tot i ser un país força més petit que qualsevol altre dels altres 5 països a la gràfica, Singapur està molt per sobre dels mateixos, tant en número d'operacions com en el seu valor. Aquesta diapositiva mostra el mateix que veiem a la darrera gràfica, però percentualment. Singapur va generar quasi el 60% de totes les operacions de finançament d'aquests 6 països i quasi el 70% del seu valor. És força evident, per tant, que la ciutat-estat és el hub de la regió, no només pel que fa a les finances o al trading, també pel finançament de startups. Com es pot deduir de les diapositives anteriors, Singapur gaudeix d'un ecosistema ric i divers d'entitats que inverteixen en projectes tant en els seus estadis inicials com en sèries de finançament més avançades. De venture capitals, de VCs, n'hi ha de purament locals, com per exemple Jungle Ventures i Monks Hills, i d'internacionals com Big Idea Ventures, com també públics com el Fons Sobirà Temasek Holdings, l'agència especialitzada en Deep Tech SG Innovate o Innovate SG de Singapore Telecom, la telefònica pública nacional. En totes les fases es pot trobar un elevat número de VCs, tant nacionals com internacionals, ja que Singapur és centre d'operacions de fons d'inversió amb enfocament no només domèstic, sinó per tot el sud-est asiàtic. Cal, però, remarcar incisivament aquest punt. Un VC establert a Singapur té com a política invertir en startups que operen localment o al conjunt del sud-est asiàtic, o sovint inclús fins a arribar a tot el continent asiàtic. Són, en canvi, però pocs els fons que operen des de Singapur a nivell global. A banda de les fonts tradicionals com l'autofinançament o el finançament bancari dels fons tipus VC, el ventall de possibilitats d'obtenir finançament s'amplia també a través de diverses agències estatals. Destaquem 2 programes de la plataforma Startup SG de l'Agència de Promoció Econòmica Enterprise SG. Startup SG Founder Grant és un programa de recolzament a primers fundadors que aporta fins a $50.000 de coinversió en un ràtio de 1 a 1 amb l'emprenedor. El segon, Startup SG Equity, és un altre programa públic de coinversió, però en aquest cas no amb el founder, sinó amb inversors exteriors qualificats. Com es pot veure al detall, no és exclusiu, però sí té un fort enfoc Deep Tech, àmbit al qual pot invertir fins a $12 milions de Singapur per projecte. Bé, passant ja a l'aspecte de mercat, un possible hàndicap de Singapur és, lògicament, el fet que la seva economia domèstica pot ser petita en determinats sectors purament per la pròpia mida del país. Contra això hi ha 2 grans factors a mencionar. Per una banda, que tenim un dels majors nivells d'ingressos de renda per càpita a nivell mundial. El PIB per càpita de Singapur s'enlaira per sobre dels $90.000 americans. El segon factor és que el mercat de Singapur, el mercat natural de Singapur, és tot el sud-est asiàtic, una zona de 700 milions de persones que formen un únic mercat intern en virtut de l'acord de lliure comerç de l'ASEAN. De fet, comptabilitzada com a una sola economia, l'ASEAN representaria la 5a economia mundial. La zona gaudeix de bona salut econòmica, doncs, com es pot veure a la gràfica de la dreta, per tots els grans països, a excepció de Tailàndia, es preveu que aquest any 2025 el creixement del PIB sigui igual o superior al 5%. Un exemple tant de la forta relació de Singapur amb la regió com de les polítiques de recolzament públic són també els GIAs o Global Innovation Alliances. Els GIAs són bàsicament acords d'intercanvi de startups promoguts novament per l'agència Enterprise SG, que permeten a les startups d'un país realitzar programes i desenvolupar xarxa a través de l'entitat associada al segon país. Aquesta entitat associada és normalment una acceleradora de prestigi. Els programes són principalment de dos tipus, d'acceleració i de coinnovació, amb les despeses totalment o parcialment cobertes pel GIA. Al sud-est asiàtic estan actualment funcionant amb Indonèsia, les Filipines, Tailàndia i Vietnam, a través d'algunes de les acceleradores més reconegudes de Singapur, com són Quest Ventures o Plug and Play. I continuem i acabem parlant d'incubadores i acceleradores. El primer a destacar seria Block 71, cas d'estudi a moltes universitats de negocis com l'origen de l'ecosistema de startups de Singapur. Antigament un edifici industrial, el Bloc 71 va ser reconvertit en centre per startups i per altres players de l'ecosistema, esdevenint el que el setmanari britànic The Economist va titllar el 2014 com a The World's Most Tightly Packed Entrepreneurial Ecosystem. A Bloc 71 s'hi troba IC71, el primer centre d'acceleració de ciberseguretat de la regió, i Pier 71, el centre d'acceleració de l'Autoritat Portuària Nacional, orientat, en aquest cas, com es pot imaginar, a la transformació digital de la indústria marítima. Al darrere del Bloc 71 hi ha el principal promotor immobiliari industrial de Singapur, l'empresa semipública JTC, que té dos altres hubs, els Launchpads de Jurong i el de One North, on es centralitzen les indústries de biotecnologia, TIC i mèdia. De fet, d'incubadores i acceleradores n'hi ha per tots els gustos. Tenim Intuitive i NUS Enterprise com a part de les dues grans universitats de Singapur. Altres són d'origen corporatiu, com GCS Labs o InnoSparks del grup ST Engineering. Altres d'origen geogràfic, com el German Accelerator o l'Australian Launchpad. Si bé moltes són agnòstiques pel que fa al sector, d'altres es centren en un o altre àmbit, entre els que destaquem de nou SG Innovate en Deep Tech, en tecnologies de l'aigua Imagine H2O, en tecnologies financeres Startup Bootcamp Fintech o FinLab del banc local UOB, en Health Tech i MedTech Jumpstart i l'australiana Blue Chili i en Smart Cities Spark Labs, en EduTech EduSpace i en Foodtech i alimentació Grow i Innovate 360. I fins aquí la breu presentació de l'ecosistema de Singapur, amb l'objectiu que us serveixi tant per entendre per què us pot ser d'interès tenir-hi presència, com perquè serveixi de context per a la següent presentació, ja específicament sobre la fira de startups SWITCH Singapur, que durà a terme a continuació el senyor Tajudin Marhim de l'agència esmentada diverses vegades, Enterprise SG. Tajudin, over to you now.
We can't hear you. Tahudin, we can't hear you.
Hi, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Yep. Thank you so much, Jordi. Thank you so much, Oriel, for helping me check on the mic. By way of introduction, my name is Tajudin, and I am the Global Partnerships Lead for Switch. And today I'm going to be sharing more about our Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology. So this year, Switch, the Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology, is happening on the 29th to the 31st of October. It will be held at the Marina Bay Sands and Expo and Convention Center. And this year, it is something special for us because it coincides with two key milestones. The first this year is Singapore's 60th anniversary. So we've been independent for 60 years. At the same time, this year is also Switch's 10th anniversary. As such, there will be quite a number of festivities and celebrations for this year's edition. And what we really do want to surface is the global impact of innovation, but also tell the story of Singapore's innovation journey and how partners like yourselves have been instrumental in us achieving that goal. But more importantly, I think for the startups and attendees who are looking forward to Switch, here's a quick recap of how we did last year. So last year was our biggest edition to date with more than 20,000 unique attendees, and that represented a 33% increase from the year before. Happy to share as well that about 1 in 5 attendees came as an international guest. So we had about 5,000 international guests joining us. And with that, we are hoping to increase the number to 25,000 attendees this year. So one thing that we are very conscious of as we continue to grow the show is that internally we do have a benchmark to ensure that more than 50% of our attendees are of a certain seniority. So this could be in the case of decision makers, C-suites and founders. Last year was also watershed for a few key reasons. The first is we were joined by more than 4,600 startups, and we've had more than 1,600 investor job titles represented at the show. So just to give a quick flavor of the global leaders that joined us, I think you guys might be very familiar with some of them. Switch has also very much been focused on deep tech since last year. So you would see very familiar names from Breakthrough Energy and Continuum, but we also have some on the more general tech side from 500 Global, and of course our own local heroes such as Carousel. So just to give you a sense of the support that Switch receives, and this obviously contributes a large part to our success, plus also the opportunities for international startups who are looking to land here. We are supported by not only global MNCs that you can see here, very familiar names from AMD, Lenovo, and Microsoft, but also some parts of our local ecosystem. So I believe earlier Jody had mentioned about Block 71, so that's our partners like JTC, and together with all of the other tech and research partners. Also, last year, happy to share that the Barcelona Catalonia startup ecosystem, so that's where Jordi and his team brought a few startups down, and we hope to see some of you be part of that on our show floor this year. And of course, being the week of innovation and technology, we do galvanize the whole community and ecosystem. So last year, more than 120 of our startup ecosystem partners joined us at Switch. Just to kind of give a quick overview, you might have seen at the start I shared that Switch is happening from the 29th to the 31st of October. But this year, given that it is a special year for us, you would see that there are two parts that have been branded as SG60. So this year, if you haven't booked your flights yet, I would just quickly invite you to extend your trip by a day before, because this year we are doing the offsite visits as a full day island-wide lab crawl. Typically, our offsite visits happens on the afternoon of day 2, and we could only accommodate between 250 to about 300 packs. This year, we are activating all our partners all across the island, so we hope that we can get that visitorship in a few thousands. More details to come in the second half of this year. I think what's more important is going to some of the key domains. So these are the deep tech focus areas that we have continued to look into: manufacturing, trade and connectivity, health and biomed, environment, energy and green tech, as well as transformative digital technologies. These domain sectors carry us through across all the various touch points of the event, not just on the content and programming angle, but also on the show floor. And in just a bit, I will share with you on our global early stage startup deep tech competition, which is Slingshot. So Slingshot is coming back again for the 9th year. And as you can see, the competitive domains are very much the same. The qualifying criteria, as you can see, it's for any international startup essentially that already has a minimum viable product. So as long as you have an MVP, you could technically apply for this. You will also need to declare that it is, of course, your own tech, and you've been registered within the past 10 years in your own country. I think more importantly, what we would like to stress is that for startups who are participating in Slingshot, the goal here is for you to set up shop here in Singapore. Here's the road to Slingshot. So what is in it for you as a startup? So this year, because it is SG60, we have renewed and almost double our commitment to looking for the best global startups who are looking to set up in Singapore. So previously we had grant prizes up to 1.2 million Singapore dollars worth. This year it's almost double at 2.1, which equates to about 1.5 million US dollars in total startup grant prizes that you may win. As you can see here, the grand prize winners from the first runner-up as well as second runner-up, they've all been doubled as well. Global call for applications are already open now before we go into the first phase of judging. That's going to happen in August, where we streamline the number from, if you compare last year, 5,555 applications to the top 250, after which we go into a second phase before we nail down the top 60. So for top 60, if you're not based in Singapore, we fly either founder or co-founder for about 2 weeks here. So you are part of the immersion program that happens before the flagship week, and then you go on to flagship week to pitch and hopefully be one of our domain finals and grand finals winner. So 3 very easy steps to apply for Slingshot. I will leave this here. This is my second last slide. But essentially, you just need to check whether your solution is in any of the 4 domain sectors that I mentioned earlier. You just need to submit a 10-slide deck that covers the basics. So basically, what's the problem and solution, your total addressable market, the value position, what's your GTM, and of course, some of your attractions, as well as your forecasting, and obviously, what is the composition of the team. And finally, you just need to fill up the application form, which you can do that by scanning the QR code here. So for my last 2 minutes, what's the main thing that I want to leave everyone with? If you don't remember anything, just remember that Singapore welcomes you all year round. So for global startups, we obviously have Slingshot as our Global Deep Tech Startup Pitching Competition. We obviously welcome you to join us during Flagship Week between the 28th to the 31st of October. But if you'd still like to know more, obviously reach out to Jordi or myself. But if you'd like to do a bit more desktop research, that's where our Startup SG network is. It's an online platform that gives you access to the 4,500 startups, 220 accelerators, and the more than 500 VCs that are here. Finally, we've also just launched Stage 1 by Startup SG, which is our national brand. So if you are looking to establish your presence in Singapore and you have no idea how to go about incorporating and setting up shop, Stage 1 is here for you. So again, just reach out to Jordi or myself and we'll be more than happy to make the connects for you. And with that, that ends my presentation. Thank you very much for having me, and I hope to see all of you in October at Switch.
Okay, thank you, Jordi and Tahudin. I hope to see you there also. It's been like I would say like last 2 days, 2 years we've been attending Singapore, and this is going to be the 3rd year. So thank you. If anyone has a question, you can use the Q&A. If not, we're gonna try to answer the questions at the end of the session, which is gonna be 10:15. D'acord? Podeu fer les preguntes ara pel xat, que us les podrà respondre a tothom, i si no ho deixarem al final, a 11:45, que les respondríem doncs, amb la informació i els que fossin. Bé, ara passem a Slush, d'acord? Slush és una fira molt important als països nòrdics, que es fa a Helsinki i que també té molta connexió internacional, i perquè ens l'expliqui, doncs també tenim el Daniel Westerlund, que moderarà aquesta part, que és Innovation and Trade Consultant de la nostra oficina a Copenhagen. Daniel, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. So this year, once again, we will bring a delegation of Catalan startups and investors to Helsinki in November 2025. We've had the pleasure to bring a delegation since 2018. I work as a consultant in the office of Copenhagen. From here, we are covering the Nordics and Baltics. And I will just share my screen here. So we have presentation. There we go. So, as I said, we are covering the Nordics and Baltics. And the thing about the Nordics is that culture-wise and language-wise, they're very similar. And in that sense, it creates a good environment for a startup ecosystems, which is making the fundament for technologies to grow and ecosystem to collaborate. In Axio, we are doing a trade, innovation, and invest from our office. We are working on the different fields and try to bring a foreign direct investment to Catalonia, but also try to connect Catalonia to the ecosystems that we have in the Nordics. So we are lucky to have some of the strongest communities and also cities in Europe that are fostering innovation and startup environments. We have a strong culture for private funding, but also government support, good initiatives, and also business agencies that are actually helping and supporting startups and scale-ups in the Nordics. Each country, Denmark, Norway, Finland, and Lithuania, Estonia, and Norway, they all have different focus areas when it comes to technologies. There is a software, a strong focus on clean tech, gaming, fintech, and also smart city technologies, as well as health tech, which are focus areas for the different countries. You may know the startups that has grown into big companies such as Spotify, payment system as Klarna. They are all supported by a strong R&D. R&D is also a very strong focus in the Nordics and Baltics. And the support system and low bureaucracy in the different countries makes it possible for companies to actually grow and to start out in an easy manner. Every culture in every country has different strong points and weak points. The good points about the Nordics is that it's actually very easy for foreigners to establish themselves through the low bureaucracy, which means that Finland, for instance, is a great innovation hub where international companies are very welcome to establish themselves. The focus areas in Finland is a strong R&D investment together with the government, which is to say the universities that are involved in many processes. And then, of course, there is the strong ecosystem in Helsinki, in Espoo, which makes sure that big companies and many international technology investors come to events such as Slush to find the perfect opportunity to invest in. I will not speak too much about the different countries and the different focus, but the general perspective on the Nordics is that it is very highly focused on research and development, and AI and deep tech is also very much upcoming, and this is also something that visitors for Slush can discover. Last year, we had the pleasure of bringing a big delegation of 16 people to Helsinki. We, for the first time, had our own booths where we had the opportunity to present our companies and connect them to all the participants of investors, corporations, and startups that were joining Slush. I would like to play a testimonial from last year, a startup called PayMe, where the co-founder Oriol has some few words here. And now I will pass the word to the partnership manager of Slush, who will be explaining you the details of the event itself. So Daniel, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. I'll share my screen now. Do you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So thank you. My name is Daniel. I'm the partnership manager at Slush. I'm happy to talk about our event that will be happening in Helsinki, November 19 to 20. So what is Slush? Slush is the gathering of the brightest minds in the startup ecosystem. So it all started in 2008. The first Slush took place, and it has grown to a truly global community and creating and supporting founders changing the world for the better. So started as just like 300-person assembly, and now it has grown to the biggest gathering of venture capital in the world and making Helsinki as ecosystem hub. In 2025, Slush will gather around 4 trillion euros in assets under management. Our mission is to be the most founder-focused event on Earth, and that's why each decision we are making at Slush, we have founders in mind. And Slush is trying to make long-lasting and net positive entrepreneurship to help solve the biggest challenges of our time. So Slush in 2025 will be gathering of 13,000 total visitors. Among them, there will be 6,000 founders, more than 3,000 investors. We will have more than 1.5 thousand volunteers and around 2,000 different ecosystem players, with an addition of more than 200 international medias. The theme of Slush 2025 is ground state. So we feel that we enter a new era where founders do not just write code, and there is a lot of AI behind it. So the tech is changing to ethical tech, and in Europe we are taking actions. So no one in early 2000s would have believed that European tech, where the European tech ecosystem is now. And we absolutely sure that the next wave will be home to our first trillion euro company. So at Slush, we are trying to help founders in seeking the right pathway to achieve the goal that they are pursuing. And of course, we will be happy and keen on helping one of the companies to become this first trillion euro company. So what happens at Slush? At Slush, we have more than 1,000 meetings every hour, and it's all made possible by the Slush matchmaking tool and our huge meeting area. At Slush, we also have 4 stages full of cutting-edge concrete company building advice to founders from founders. We have one of the most famous startup competitions, Slush 100, where actually this year it will be less than 5 world's best VCs invest 1 million to the winner of our Slush 100 competition. And the top 20 will pitch on stage on day 1, and founder stage hosts the founder stage, the biggest stage of Slush, hosts the finals for the top 3 on day 2. And we have hundreds of side events organized by our partners and ecosystem friends. The side events take over the main event or around the city. And Helsinki is full of life during Slush Week. So the past speakers at Slush, you might see some familiar faces here. And this year you can expect even bigger names. These companies came in their early days. So you see that, for example, Bolt was at Slush in 2017. Now they are at Series A. Wise was in 2013. Now it's Series A as well. Vault, Blockchain, Ivan, and probably the recent skyrocketing in startups ecosystem is Lovable. They were at Slush in 2024. Now they are at pre-Series A. So a lot of VCs, a lot of LPs are coming to Slush. So these famous VCs have invested into companies that have participated at Slush before. So you also might see some familiar faces around these VCs. and all of them are coming to Slush year after year, and 2025 is not an exception. So we will have even more VC and LP funding gathered at Slush. I have some great pictures of Slush in the past years. So we are trying to keep the Nordic, the Finnish culture under the roof, but also giving the freedom of expression to everyone who is coming. Yeah, so Slush is huge. Slush is full of different stage talks, a lot of meetings, a lot of networking. And for founders, we have like how to Slush. So at Slush, it's very important to connect and find partners and investors among tech executives and industry leaders. Meetings, visibility among over 13,000 thought leaders and future makers. We have community where peer support from thousands of founders and operators is available. For example, at founder-focused side events. We have variety of different exclusive founders activities, such as Slush 100 Founders Day, mentoring session, roundtables. Also available with the side event tool, and matchmaking, access to investors through our matchmaking tool. And as said, happening like over 1,000 meetings every hour. So we would love to see you in Helsinki at Slush 2025, November 19 to 20. And if you need my contact details, so here they are. But Daniel is the mastermind behind organizing the arrival of startups from Catalonia to Slush. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Daniel. So we always, despite the weather, we have been very warm. Welcome there. So we hope to come again this year with 10 or 15 startups, okay, and connect with all the people around there. So thank you very much. So Daniel has to leave. So if you have any questions, please write them down at the chat. And now we're going to move to the next event. The next event is WebSummit. It takes place in Lisbon, Portugal. And we have with us Juliana Teixeira, Business Unit Manager at Axio Portugal. So Juliana, floor is yours.
Thank you, Oriol. Thank you. Good morning to all. It's a pleasure to be one more year talking about WebSummit Lisbon, and hoping to receive you all in Portugal in November. I will share my screen. Sorry, I hope it will work. Can you see it? Perfect. Okay, so starting from the scratch, what is WebSummit? It's one of the most important technology events of the world. As you know, WebSummit has organized several events all over the world in the recent years, with WebSummit Rio and WebSummit Qatar, among other events. But we of course are focused on WebSummit Lisbon, and I will today give you some more insights about this important tech conference in Europe. So WebSummit mission is to really enable connections between all the ecosystem around the web and around the technology. And it's a platform where you can find all the important stakeholders of the world around these areas, where they are CEOs, founders, politicians, or even cultural figures that are impacting the new trends on this area. So that's their mission, to really put everybody together and create those connections in order to reshape the web trends and help everybody to be on the same page. Focusing on WebSummit Lisbon, well, as you know, it's the flagship event of WebSummit. Reuters classify it as the Europe's biggest tech conference. So every year new records are obtained, and it's always very overwhelming to see that every year more people come, and more companies and more records are even attend. So it's really an important event in Europe, and maybe we risk to say the most innovation event that everybody wants to attend at least one time. And we really recommend that if you have the opportunity to come to Lisbon to really understand the impact of this summit. The event brings together again, I would say, every important key player on the sector, world-class speakers. Well, the number of important people that already have spoken in Web Summit conferences is never ending. All the promising startups around the world, very important technology investors also from around the world. You'll find important corporates as well, and of course all the international media is there. So it's really a big assembly of all those key players. You will find as well, which make the event very, very rich, a lot of diverse backgrounds, and that's very interesting, the synergies that can come around of these different backgrounds that meet together. So the networking that the summit will allow you to have, and also the understanding of the market trends and the new ideas and visions for the future, are really an important milestone of the conference. So this is also very, very interesting, apart from the network, also to be able to understand where the world is looking into in the near future in this area. So I think these pictures highlights very well what is WebSummit Lisbon. It's really the biggest conference in Europe, and several opportunities rise from there, from networking to new visions and understanding the web market and the world web market, for sure. So we can expect many lecturers from Web Summit, a lot of master classes. So it's also a very important event to really be able to have more knowledge and be more understanding competition and how we can place our ideas and how we can develop our startups. That's also very important milestone from the Web Summit Lisbon. So a lot of stands where you can promote also your startups, and of course roundtables and a lot of networking and connections again. And networking and connections is here on the PowerPoint on caps lock, because this is of course one of the most important things that you can take out from Web Summit, apart all the other activities. And it's important to highlight that the networking events are happening all the week. You will have several events to attend. And of course, we have to talk about this important event that Axio and Catalonia Activa in partnership, they organized in Lisbon already from it's going to be the 4th year. The event is growing every year. The place that it is organized is really 5 minutes walking from Web Summit. So last year we had a lot of participants too. which also give to the Catalonia startups the opportunity to promote themselves on a different way. Sometimes when you have those events, you'll be able to invite investors, you'll be able to promote your startup on a more exclusive way, and the event is really a great opportunity to talk about Catalonia ecosystem and to really promote the ecosystem on an altogether way, which give you more strengths as an individual startup. So the event has been a huge success. And we hope this year it's going to be the same, and to be able to see you there in order for you to really take advantage of this amazing opportunity that Axio is giving you while participating on WebSummit Lisbon. To conclude and also to give you space for questions, it's going to help you a little bit in summarizing what you'll be able to get and a better understanding of the overview of the market weaknesses and trends. And this is very important when you are launching a new product or a new services. It's going to also to help you to establish important connections and contacts with experts and companies in the industry, which can bring you, of course, for future collaboration and also for joint cooperation, not only on the sell perspective, but sometimes the partnerships that are developed on WebSummit are really important to leverage future market entries and future developments for your startup. So that's a very important thing that you can get from these big events. And also, of course, find investors for your project or startup is one of the biggest events to get investments from different series. So it's always one of the main goals of the startups participating on WebSummit is to really find an investor for their project. But we believe it's important that you also look into the other opportunities that the WebSummit Lisbon can bring to you. Very quickly, just a small look into Portugal. Well, the reason why we have WebSummit in Portugal is, I believe, known. Portugal have done an amazing work on the dynamism of its entrepreneurial ecosystem, which has bring the attention of WebSummit organization, and we have the event here due to this dynamic landscape we are all assisting. So we have a new startup law which make it very easier in terms of fiscal benefits for startups with stock options that are one of the most beneficial in Europe. Well, we have a very big ecosystem for our scale comparing to the size of the country, a lot of incubators. So the ecosystem is really dynamic, which leads, of course, to different opportunities. There's several international startups now based in Lisbon or in Porto or in other cities, which make it a very international ecosystem full of opportunities for everybody. Well, Portugal is also very known for the welcoming of its people and culture. So it's a very safe country, among other beneficials that are also putting Portugal in the radar of important international corporations and also startups. And of course, well, it is very driven in terms of the ecosystem. It's a work that have started a long time ago, I would say with the crisis in around 2011, 2010, and we are still investing a lot around this and hoping to keep on growing. So we really believe that between Portugal and Catalonia there will be...
Precisamos de terminar.
Ya, es el último slide, ya termino. So, quase terminando, gracias. So to conclude, strategic trade partnership between Catalonia and Portugal is something that we believe it's very important and that everybody can benefit from it, especially this ecosystem of startups. So you have here some key sectors that eventually you can look into collaborate, and we really think that it can be very important and very good for you to come to WebSummit Lisbon. Thank you.
Obrigado, Juliana, sorry. And we have with us Emily Cole, from Global Partnerships from WebSummit. So Emily, the floor is yours.
Hi all, good morning. I'm just going to make sure I'm sharing the right screen over here. Okay. Hopefully that will make sense. Apologies, I just need to give it access. Okay.
Emily, if you're having problems, maybe Gonzalo can share the presentation if he has it. Okay, yeah, it's working. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So all the accessing options. Perfect. So yes, thank you all so much for coming today. Juliana did a great job on giving us a great introduction. So just quickly, I guess, it will be taking place between November 10th and 13th of this year. And I just want to kind of run through kind of what's included and the overview of WebSummit, what's included in the startup program, and also how to really make the most of the event as well. So to begin with, Juliana touched on it in a great way. We have four different events at the moment, and we have Lisbon, Vancouver, Rio, and Qatar. Of course, Lisbon being our flagship event and the biggest, so the one that would obviously make the most sense for all of you to join us. Currently this year, we're looking at over 70,000 attendees joining us. The most important numbers for yourselves is over 900 investors, which is amazing, quite frankly, and then over 2,600 startups, branching from alpha, beta, and growth as well. So 3 different levels of startups depending on how developed you are. So as Juliana mentioned as well, we have some amazing speakers that have joined us in the past. Varies a lot. So it varies from people like Elon Musk right up until Amy Poehler, who's a comedian. So a bit of everything for everyone across our numerous stages. And then we are industry agnostic, of course, but it's great to know we also have more specific tracks as well. So if you are, for example, a fintech startup, it's really easy to use our app to just follow the whole fintech summit and know exactly who's on stage when and what events are kind of more kind of aimed at yourselves. Major global companies, partners. So you can see this all on our partner page in a bit more depth, but once again, a very big array of the type of partners that join us each year. And then top international funds invest as well. As you can see here, some of like the most large European funds do join us. And of course, those from all over the world as well. Once again, our investor page on our website is really helpful to kind of do a deep dive on that. Why people attend. So Juliana obviously touched on this as well, but really inspiring content. You never know who you're going to see on stage next. A lot of learning and development in a mixture of the more specific startup opportunities as well as the general opportunities as well. Networking, our logo is basically having meaningful connections. So not just networking for the sake of it, but more specific and meaningful connections there. Brand awareness, lead generation, and team building, that's even more specific for the startup program itself. So we try and incorporate all of that into our opportunity. So on that note, the startup program, one of the best shows for up-and-coming startups by Recode, which is always great to hear from them themselves. As I mentioned earlier, we have alpha, beta, and growth. So this is completely dependent on how developed you are. And we kind of have more specific experiences for you in that capacity. So for alphas, they're early stage startups, and they're really looking for that product validation, maybe more clients, more investment, that kind of thing. That would be our largest category, followed by beta, who would have more than 1 million of investment, kind of in the middle zone of not quite brand new, but also not expanding internationally quite yet. And then growth will be those with more than 3 million USD investment and growing quite internationally. next gen and worldwide startups exhibit. So as you can see, some of our alumni here. Obviously, this is the best of the best, so it's always great to kind of view it in one place. But it's great to know that some of those recognizable names have joined us in the past. So the 3-day acceleration program. So what's actually included in what you get? So first of all, it depends on what category you're in. But for example, Alpha, you get 3 tickets to the Web Summit. So you have full access to the full event. You have an exhibition booth for one of your days, which is built for you. So all that stress is taken away and you can just show up on your exhibition day like the other days. You'll also be in your industry area too. The opportunity to apply for startup activations, those are the more specific things that are very targeted for startups. Company branding and profile feature on our website, so it's really easy for people to find you too. Access to the mobile and web apps for building connections, which I can go into a little bit more detail now. And then also we have a success team that are completely dedicated to helping you onboard and get you ready for the event as well. So the startup activations, as I mentioned, so it completely depends on what your goals are, but we have things that are more well-known, like the pitch competition and startup showcase, which are on stage opportunities. So you can easily apply for those with our startup success team. So that would be on the center stage. So as Juliana showed, the final of the pitch competition is on center stage, which is a great experience to have. We have things like mentor hours, just 45-minute sessions with experts, and in small groups as well, which is a really nice place to get that back and forth. We also have our investors startup meetings, which are quick 15-minute pre-scheduled meetings from the investor side to get you kind of going in that way, and we have a lounge specifically for that. The rest of these you can also have a bit of more of a kind of deep dive, as I mentioned already, on our website. Night Summit, just lightly on this, it's each evening of the event. So the networking and opportunities don't just stop once the conference day stops. We have completely taken over the city for the 3 days. So we have lots of different things happening, and it's just a great way to relax, as well as just having more relaxed interactions with people after the event. So as I mentioned already, you'd be featured online. So you can easily be found by people of interest. They can filter by location, industry, where, like, what level you are, alpha, beta growth. It's really easy for people to find you on our website. And then making the most of the Web Summit. So really quickly, just to kind of overview of set your goals. Juliana touched on it a little bit, but it's great to have like some lead generation as your focus, or is it fundraising, or is it brand awareness? Know what success looks like for yourself before you join us. And of course, maybe it might be just having fun and exploring the event and networking too. Strategize, know exactly how you want to use your team, what activations you want to apply for, when are the deadlines, and use all the channels available to you. It's the best way to really get the most out of it, to prepare as much as possible. As I mentioned earlier, the app is your best friend during the event. So you can filter our guest list really strongly. So by industry, by country, by type of attendee as well. And as you can see on the left here, you would all get a QR code, everyone who joins us. Really easy to add that just by scanning them onto your lead list, and you can export that after the event as well. So you don't have to worry about pen and paper or scrambling to get people's details. Good practices, it's always great to let people know you'll be there, and it's also great for us to know what kind of attendees we'll be having as well. So this is a kind of an example of people who've shared that they're joining us online. And then during Web Summit, it's great to know the map. We will have info points as well, but it's great to know where is everything, where is my booth going to be, where is the tracks that are most relevant to me. As I mentioned, go to the tracks that are interesting. Check your schedule for potential meetings. People will add you on the app for things, and it's great to know what's coming ahead of you on your day. And then, of course, as I mentioned, attend Night Summit. After Web Summit, team debrief. How did it go well? How did it go badly? How would you want to do things differently? What was the outcome? And definitely share your experience. We always want to work off startups' feedback to know how we can make it a better event for you. And then just quickly a summarize of everything. You can meet your success team once you're registered. So onboarding starts around September. you complete your profile and you meet your deadlines. You prepare for the event, which we can help you with as well with startup sessions like these. You have a team that are right there and ready to help you when you need as well. And then you can enjoy the event without any stresses, hopefully. So this can all be shared with you online. We are really happy to welcome back the Barcelona ecosystem for the 4th year in a row. And also just to mention, 19th of September is your deadline to apply for this program, and we really hope to welcome you there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Emily. We're so happy from the Barcelona Catalonia Startup Ecosystem to attend WebSummit this year, and is where we attend with more startups, which is 24, so with 3 investors. Okay, thank you. Bé, moltes gràcies. Ara passaríem a la part més concreta, d'acord, que seria doncs, explicar com és aquest procés per les corporacions i pels inversors. I per fer la part de corporacions tenim a la Leire Alfonso, d'acord, que ella és Senior Consultant d'Open Innovation Acció. Leire, endavant, tens la paraula.
Hola, gràcies, Oriol. Bon dia a tots i a totes. Com ben deia l'Oriol, jo presentaré la part de missió de corporacions al WebSummit. Després la Laia Pes explicarà una mica el procés d'inscripció de les startups a totes les missions que hem presentat avui. Llavors, comparteixo la presentació. Oriol, sisplau, confirma'm que la veieu correctament.
Perfecte, ara la fas en gran i ja endavant.
Ja està en gran en la meva pantalla, no sé en la teva.
Bueno, pantalla completa, deia, però endavant, si et va bé així, endavant. Tira, que es veu bé.
Vale, fantàstic. De fet, la Emily ha estat explicant la missió, una mica l'ecosistema per a startups, però previ al Web Summit se celebra també el Corporate Innovation Summit, un esdeveniment molt enfocat a corporacions innovadores. Llavors, és un esdeveniment que només es pot arribar per invitació i està dirigit a corporacions innovadores i a perfils de senior management o directors d'innovació, etc. És un dia abans de la inauguració oficial del Web Summit, que comença el dia 10 a la nit. Llavors, el mateix dia 10, durant tot el dia, com veurem a la propera slide, se celebra aquest esdeveniment de networking en la que el contingut és bàsicament meses, taules rodones, masterclasses i molts esdeveniments de networking. Per gaudir al màxim d'aquest esdeveniment, nosaltres us proposem una missió que començaria el diumenge, dia 9 de novembre, amb el sopar de recepció que organitza el Corporate Innovation Summit. El dilluns, dia 10, com comentava abans, és el dia fort de contingut d'aquest esdeveniment i acabaríem aquest dia amb el Welcome Dinner, que és el mateix que després explicarà la Laia de la delegació de startups catalanes. El dimarts, dia 11, el tercer dia de missió, diguéssim, us proposem un tour guiat per la fira. És una fira molt gran, com explicaven l'Emily i la Juliana abans, i llavors pensem que és important, segons els interessos de les corporacions que ens acompanyen, fer un itinerari guiat per les startups més interessants que estiguin al Web Summit. I acabarem el dia 3 o el dia 4, perquè és un esdeveniment que encara està per confirmar la data, participant també al Barcelona Catalonia Startup Ecosystem, que és un side event que organitza la delegació catalana en el programa de les missions. Llavors, el preu està encara per confirmar perquè depèn del nombre de participants, però com a màxim serà 300 euros, i aquí també heu de tenir en compte tot el cost indirecte, allotjament, hotels, dietes, etc., que correrà a càrrec de cada empresa. Llavors, en quant al procés d'inscripció, començaríem, dir que esperem un màxim de 10 corporacions i serà per ordre d'inscripció. És important aquí puntualitzar que és l'organització del Corporate Innovation Summit de Lisboa qui selecciona els perfils segons els seus criteris de selecció. Com a més tard, finals de juliol, tindreu la confirmació per part de l'organització i nosaltres us demanem que feu la inscripció abans del 15 de juliol. Així tindrem la formalització, diguéssim, de la vostra participació amb la signatura del contracte abans del 15 de setembre. De moment, si esteu interessats en rebre més informació o per a inscripció, us deixo aquí el meu contacte i espero que us animeu i participeu en aquesta primera missió per a corporacions dins del WebSummit.
Molt bé, Leire. Doncs escolta, moltes gràcies. Et quedes aquí perquè ara passem la paraula a Laia Pes, que ens explicarà tot el procediment que han de seguir les startups i després, Laia, ja moderaries les preguntes, d'acord? Moltes gràcies.
Gràcies, Oriol. Bon dia a tots. Moltes gràcies per venir a aquesta sessió informativa de les 3 missions que organitzem per startups, en aquest cas. I ara us explicaré una mica com funciona tot el tema de la selecció i els perfils. El que ha comentat l'Oriol, o sigui, si voleu fer qualsevol pregunta, sisplau, compartiu aquí en el xat. Doncs vaig a compartir la presentació. Aviam si la veieu. L'esteu veient?
Sí, Laia.
Vale, perfecte. Vale, veieu pantalla sencera, Val, doncs, com us he comentat al principi, aquest és un projecte juntament amb l'Ajuntament de Barcelona i Barcelona Activa i hem unit esforços perquè tots, per arribar al màxim de startups de l'ecosistema d'aquí de Barcelona a Catalunya. Llavors, anem a 4 missions concretament. Avui us estem presentant 3, que és el SWITCH Singapur, el WebSummit Lisboa i l'Slush de Helsinki, però aquesta tarda, per tema horari, us presentarem la de TechCrunch. O sigui que si algú vol assistir aquesta tarda a TechCrunch, doncs també esteu convidats. Llavors, quin és l'objectiu per les startups de venir a aquestes missions? O sigui, en primer lloc, és connectar-se i aconseguir acords futurs amb tot l'ecosistema de startups, entenent ecosistema de startups, inversors, clients, partnerships, proveïdors, talent, en aquests tech events. Aquests tech events estan focalitzats en startups multisectorials de tots els àmbits i tenen unes aplicacions i uns assistents que són totalment el target i el focus de les startups. Normalment aquestes missions tenen 4 dies de durades, són missions molt intenses en quant a reunions, en quant a networking. Un altre dels avantatges és que anem tots junts, anem les startups, els inversors. Aquest any també hi haurà inclús algunes corporates, en el cas de WebSummit i TechCrunch. I d'aquesta forma el que fem és fer connexions també amb el propi ecosistema i mostrar tot aquest ecosistema a nivell internacional. El projecte s'anomena Barcelona Catalonia Startup Ecosystem i ja té marca pròpia. Llavors, el que nosaltres volem és que tingueu el màxim de visibilitat en aquestes fires i no només fem difusió a través dels nostres medis d'aquí, a través d'Acció i a través de Catalonia Trade and Investment, les diferents oficines, com a través de Barcelona Activa i de l'Ajuntament, sinó que també fem difusió allà. Llavors, com ho fem això? O sigui, teniu, en algun cas, en alguna de les fires disposeu de booth, en altres teniu un espai dintre del nostre stand, perquè nosaltres també anem amb un stand per mostrar tot aquest ecosistema. Us ajudem i us donem suport també in situ perquè feu el màxim de networking i tingueu el màxim de visibilitat. Organitzem un side event, que és un esdeveniment al voltant d'aquesta fira. Us han estat explicant en el cas de WebSummit, on tenim més de 200 assistents. Doncs en cadascuna d'aquestes fires organitzem aquest side event per donar-vos el màxim de visibilitat i fer el màxim de networking aprofitant els assistents en aquestes fires i el propi ecosistema del país o la regió on anem. Allí feu networkings, teniu reunions, teniu l'oportunitat de participar en alguns pitching stage, també teniu tot aquest suport i acompanyament per part nostra i, a part, tenim les oficines d'acció a nivell internacional. En el cas de Singapur, tenim l'oficina que us munten una agenda individual. En el cas de Portugal, les consultores, la Juliana, munten el que és el side event, aquest gran side event en el casino de Lisboa amb més de 200 assistents. En el cas de Slush, ve la nostra oficina de Nordic Countries, el Daniel, on també us donen suport i munten aquest side event. Llavors, perquè tingueu una idea de les agendes, de com funciona l'esquema, ara tampoc us explicaré les 3 agendes. En tot cas, en el cas de que apliqueu o que tingueu algun dubte, podem entrar en detalls amb el tema agendes, però el format normalment és el mateix. Ens trobem tots el dia d'arribada. Aquí, per exemple, us he posat el cas de Singapur. Normalment fem un sopar, al que esteu convidades, les startups, i on fem networking ja d'entrada en aquest sopar. Venen també inversors, a vegades venen gent d'allà de l'ecosistema, però ja és per començar a carregar motors. Llavors, un cop en el cas de Singapur, per exemple, el cas de Switch comença el dia següent, i allí ja teniu els one-to-one meetings que us heu estat muntant a través de l'aplicació i a través de tots els possibles contactes de gent que ve al Switch, en aquest cas. Però, a part, en aquest cas, des de l'oficina us munten agendes individuals. Llavors, en el moment en què us inscriviu i encaixeu en la missió, ja des de l'oficina, per exemple, en aquest cas, es comença a treballar amb això. En el cas de Slush, des de l'oficina també us donen suport en quant a aconseguir el màxim de reunions a través de l'aplicatiu de l'Slush, en quant a apuntar-vos al màxim de side events que s'han organitzat un munt en tot Helsinki. O sigui, al final són fires molt a mides en base a la situació i el perfil de tech event que muntem, que assistim. Llavors, quines són les condicions? O sigui, la primera de tot és ser una startup. O sigui, com us he comentat, són fires multisectorials. Podeu estar en fase inicial o de creixement i ser de qualsevol dels sectors. Sí que un cop us inscriviu, sí que és interessant que us informeu o us expliquem exactament si us encaixa més una fira o una altra, a no ser que ho tingueu molt clar. Per exemple, en el cas de Slush, normalment s'inscriuen startups que ja estan en fase d'inversió internacional, amb sèries més avançades, allà el focus molt tema inversió, però això no treu que hi pugui haver alguna startup en fase seed amb una tecnologia molt interessant que es pugui voler buscar ja els primers contactes per les següents rondes. Llavors, això sí que és interessant que ho tingueu present, que és important que parleu amb nosaltres o bé que parleu amb l'oficina. Llavors, en el cas de les convocatòries, el SWITCH Singapur tanca el 9 de juny, està oberta ja. Aquí us enviarem la presentació amb els links. El cas de WebSummit i de Slush tanquen el 23 de juny. Les condicions en quant a preu, o sigui, Acció té una política de preus que està totalment subvencionat. En el cas de Switch Singapur us costaria 450 euros més IVA i això inclou l'agenda individual, tota aquesta visibilitat que us comentava, espai a dintre del Switch i entrada. En el cas de WebSummit Lisboa, el preu són 434 euros i inclou tot aquest acompanyament grupal, el booth, tenim un dia de booth, en aquest cas a nivell individual, i tota aquesta visibilitat i contactes que us puguem donar també a través del site event. I en el cas de Slush Helsinki són 457 € i això també inclou aquesta agenda grupal d'anar tots junts, organitzant també un esdeveniment amb altres entitats com les nostres que van, com tipus Business France, que també van amb startups, a part organitzant un site event i les entrades i la visibilitat en els buses. En aquest cas tenim uns buses allí dintre de l'Slash amb els vostres logos i és un punt de contacte on vosaltres també podeu aconseguir reunions. El preu no inclou el cost del viatge, o sigui, el que és el vol i l'hotel de cada startup s'ho hauria de finançar, i inclou tot aquest acompanyament de nosaltres, les persones dels equips de Barcelona-Catalonia Startup Ecosystem, que seríem gent d'acció i gent de Barcelona Activa i de l'Ajuntament de Barcelona. Llavors, en quant a dates, sí que es dona la casualitat de que aquests Tech Events tenen lloc a partir de l'octubre d'aquest any. Tots són entre octubre i novembre. Llavors, nosaltres al final hem seleccionat els esdeveniments per interès i potencial per les startups i són aquestes dates. En el cas del SWITCH Singapur és del 28 al 31 d'octubre. Aquí heu de considerar el fet de sortir el dia abans perquè són més de 15 hores de vol. En el cas de WebSummit de Lisboa, que està més a prop, doncs seria del 10 de novembre al 13 de novembre i aquí podeu sortir el mateix 10. I en el cas de l'Slush Helsinki és del 10 al 20 de novembre. En aquest cas són unes 4 hores i mitja de vol i per tant hauríeu de sortir cap al matí del mateix 17. Aquestes són les dates de l'emissió, o sigui, l'emissió conté totes aquestes dates. O sigui, a part del que és el propi Tech Event, hi ha tota una sèrie d'activitats, de side event, de contactes, de reunions, que estan fora del que és el propi Tech Event. Llavors, això és més que un Tech Event, és una emissió completa amb tot aquest acompanyament. Llavors, sobretot, si teniu qualsevol dubte, aneu preguntant pel xat i sapigueu que el tema de les presentacions us les compartirem totes a tots els assistents via e-mail i que si teniu qualsevol dubte o qüestió, també a posteriori també podeu contactar-nos a nosaltres mateixos. No sé si algú té alguna pregunta. Veig que no n'hi ha. Doncs, com veig que no hi ha preguntes, aprofitarem ja per acabar una mica abans, perquè així no tindrà tanta durada. Com que us hem hagut d'explicar les 3 missions, la sessió era una mica més llarga d'1 hora, però moltes gràcies per venir, per escoltar aquestes 3 missions i us encoratgem a això, si teniu qualsevol dubte, a contactar-nos directament i sobretot a venir a aquestes missions, que és una oportunitat poder venir a través d'aquest projecte de Barcelona-Catalonia Startup Ecosystem, on estem sumant esforços perquè aquests projectes, aquestes missions siguin cada cop més grans i us beneficin cada cop més a les startups. Moltes gràcies i fins la propera.